I was standing in the lawyer's office when I saw it, the bank statement with a single Zelle transaction that made my knees buckle. $1.1 million. Sent 3 days before my mother died. To a name I didn't recognize. But the memo line? That's what destroyed me. It said, "For the child who visited." I hadn't visited in 4 months. My hands were shaking as I held that paper, my sister Sarah beside me frozen, my brother Marcus breathing hard through the speakerphone. We all thought we knew our mother. 88 years old, sharp as ever, a woman who wouldn't buy a toaster without reading reviews. And now this, nearly her entire estate gone to someone named Melissa K. Turner, the child who visited. Mom had always promised to split everything equally. She'd said it 100 times. The $300,000 left for us felt like an insult compared to what this stranger got. Does anyone know who this is? I asked. Sarah shook her head. Marcus stayed silent. That silence, that's what cracked everything open. I drove to Mom's house that night, alone, needing to find something that explained this. The house still smelled like her lavender lotion. I went through drawers, closets, her computer. And then I found her iPad, still logged into her messages. That's when I saw them. Hundreds of texts to a number saved as Melissa, my angel. My heart stopped as I scrolled. Messages going back 2 years. Melissa sending photos of home-cooked meals she'd brought Mom. Melissa describing taking Mom to doctor's appointments. Melissa sitting with her during chemo treatments I didn't even know she'd had. Chemo treatments that my mother had cancer for 18 months and never told us. I felt the room spin. The messages showed everything. Melissa driving her to oncology, holding her hand during bad news, staying overnight when Mom was too weak to be alone. And Mom's responses, full of gratitude, full of love for this woman who showed up. Then I found the video message Mom had recorded on her phone, dated the same day as the transfer. I almost didn't press play. Mom's face filled the screen, thin and tired but peaceful. If you're watching this, I'm gone, and you found out about Melissa. I know you're hurt. I know you feel betrayed. But let me tell you what happened. Her voice was steady, the same voice that had read me bedtime stories and talked me through breakups. 2 years ago, I fell in the grocery store. Broke my hip. A young woman helped me. That was Melissa. She was shopping for her own grandmother, who'd just passed. She saw me lying there and didn't just call 911. She rode with me to the hospital. Stayed until you came, Jessica. You remember that day? I did. I'd been annoyed about leaving work early. After that, Melissa started checking on me. Just little things at first. Then I got diagnosed and I couldn't tell you kids. You were all so busy, so far away, dealing with your own lives. Jessica, you were going through your divorce. Sarah, you had the new baby. Marcus, you just started that company. I didn't want to be a burden. I wanted to scream. Mom, we would have come. Melissa visited 3 times a week. She never asked for anything. She worked night shifts as a nurse and still came on her days off. She fed me when I couldn't feed myself. She held me when I was scared. She was there for every single appointment, every bad scan. Every moment I thought I wouldn't make it through. Mom's eyes filled with tears on the screen. She became the daughter I needed when I needed one most. And her own story. She just lost her grandmother, lost her apartment, was drowning in medical school debt from nursing school. So yes, I gave her the money. Not because she asked. She never asked. But because she gave me something none of you could. She gave me her time when time was all I had left. The video ended. I sat on Mom's couch and wept. Not angry tears, broken ones. Because she was right. I'd been 3 hours away making excuses. Sarah had been overwhelmed with her newborn. Marcus was building his startup. We'd all been too busy for the woman who was never too busy for us. Mom had called me 12 times during those 18 months saying she just wanted to hear my voice. I'd cut half those calls short. I found Melissa's number in Mom's phone and called her. She answered cautiously.
I'm Jessica.
Linda's daughter. There was a long pause. Then softly, she talked about you all the time. She loved you so much. Why didn't you tell us she was sick? She made me promise not to. She said you'd all drop everything, and she didn't want that. She wanted you to live your lives. Melissa's voice cracked. I tried to convince her, but she was stubborn. We met for coffee the next day. Melissa showed me photos I'd never seen. Mom smiling weekly in hospital rooms. Mom hugging her after clear scans. Mom teaching her to knit during recovery. This stranger had albums full of my mother's final chapter, while I had 4 months of unopened text messages. Melissa cried when she told me she'd tried to refuse the money. Mom had threatened to give it all to charity if she didn't accept. She said I gave her the gift of dignity, Melissa whispered, that I let her feel cared for without feeling like a burden. We didn't contest the will. How could we? Melissa earned every dollar by doing what we should have done, showing up. I visit Mom's grave every week now. I never miss. And I volunteer at a senior center on Saturdays, sitting with people whose kids are too busy. Because I learned the hardest lesson. Being family isn't about blood or promises. It's about presence. Mom didn't give her money to a stranger. She gave it to the daughter who visited. And I'll carry that guilt and that lesson for the rest of my life. Subscribe if you believe stories should make us better. Like if this made you want to call your mom. Share it, not as a warning about scams, but as a reminder about time. And in the comments, tell me honestly, when was the last time you were truly present for someone who needed you? Let's hold each other accountable.